It's rush hour in Gatwick, and Class A drug dog Lucy is back in training. Her amazingly sensitive nose is about to be put through a training exercise. A flight has just arrived from Ghana, and officers have asked a passenger to hide a tiny sample of cocaine in their bag.
Thank you.
It's Lucy's job to find it amongst the crowd.
It's all right, don't be scared.
It's vital the sniffer dogs get experience of real-life situations.
Stand still for me, please. Good girl.
Lucy's nose can detect drugs at just a few particles per trillion and easily picks out the fake smuggler. But it's the passengers behind him who grab the officer's attention as two Eastern European men pass through with no hand luggage.
Blue Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, the other guy's...
With the white top, a bit taller.
Yeah.
They're obviously together though, aren't they? So it'd be interesting if they don't come through together.
They're probably right, but just they sort of stood out when I saw them come off the flight, actually.
Gatwick's had a recent surge in Eastern Europeans smuggling cocaine from Ghana, so their suspicions are highly aroused.
We'll wait and see what happens here.
Over in the freight terminal, there's another job for the border officers, and there's no rest for sniffer dog Lucy.
We've got a bit of BA mail to do. She's going to sniff some boxes and some sacks and see if she likes any of it or not. If so, we'll ask Royal Mail to open the box. So let's go and give it a go.
Sniffer dogs are a vital tool in tracing drugs smuggled via post. But with millions of parcels coming through Gatwick every year, it's a time-consuming process.
Sit, sit. Good girl. Where? Where?
Almost immediately, Lucy picks out a box and gives a trademark indication.
Would you mind having a look at this box for me? She's showing a lot of interest and she sat down, which is a good indication.
OK, I'll get Royal Mail to open it.
OK, thank you. The officer has gone to Royal Mail to get them to open it because we're not allowed to open it ourselves. So I'm just waiting for them to come back now to see if there's anything in the box, and they can then examine whatever the contents of the box will be.
Royal Mail have opened the box, and officers can now inspect the contents.
Just having a look at the contents of the book. Seems to be all wooden items. Plaques are quite common. I'll X-ray them, see if it shows anything.
The X-ray should show any hidden concealments.
Yes, you can see on this, the bigger one here was the first plaque that went in. There's a line round the edge, just here and here. Nothing in this one or this one.
With the X-ray showing a hidden concealment, there's only one way to find out what it is.
Yeah, you can see there's white powder here on the drill bit. We'll do the test now. Hopefully it should go blue and demonstrate the presence of cocaine. Yeah, it's just starting to go blue as it dries here, which confirms there's cocaine in the package.
It's an excellent find by Lucy.
I'm going to bring Lucy back in to reward her on her find. So we'll put it back into the box, put it back amongst the other boxes, and hope she'll find it again and she'll get her ball this time. We can't really give her ball the first time because we don't know if there's anything there or not.
With the cocaine confirmed, Lucy gets her well-earned reward.
She takes a while to actually indicate. She sniffs it thoroughly first. So. There we go. Good girl. Clever girl. Good girl. Yay! Good result. Yeah.
Across in the Gatwick custody suite, the officer's suspicion about the two Eastern Europeans was spot on.
Is that the Ritz? Hello, yeah, it's Kevin here. I'm in custody suite. We've got two smugglers.
Kevin and Mark questioned the suspected smugglers. The men were then X-rayed. Inside their bodies are dozens of packages full of cocaine.
You need to take your clothes off, put this on.
Back down here for me.
The men will remain in custody until the packages have passed through their systems and the officers can collect and analyse the evidence. Meanwhile, a Lithuanian translator has been brought in to explain the situation.
Right, because he's got packages inside him, we will put him in a cell in a moment and we're going to turn CCTV cameras on and he will be monitored at all times for his own health and safety. Yeah.
Yeah, until I pass them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, does he want anything to eat or drink at the moment?
No. Yes.
Officers must closely monitor the men and observe when they go to the toilet in case they attempt to swallow the packages again after they've passed through their systems.
Is the other guy in the cell?
Yeah.
Because this guy says he needs the loan.
Right.
So I'm wondering, is there any... Do you have any problem with me taking them?
Not at the moment, the temperature's having a cup of tea. So
Okay, so we just take it to the special.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. There's a special toilet, basically, where it collects any packages when people go to the toilet, basically. So it's a way of collecting the evidence to ensure it doesn't go down, it doesn't flush down the loo. Not our favourite job, actually. Yeah. Fortunately, Mark's got the job, not me.
The guy asked to go to the loo. He's been to the loo. We've got a special one that we use for people who swallow drugs. Obviously, if they pass any, we need to collect them up. And yes, he did. So I need to go and sort that out now.
For Officer Mark, this is the first time he's dealt with drug swallowers. Collecting the evidence is not a pleasant experience.
Yeah, let's say you may... Yeah, good. Yeah, okay.
As the toilet is flushed, the Lithuanian swallower's cocaine is washed into a special basin. If just one of these packages had burst inside him, the man would have been killed within seconds.
Yeah, thank you.
An unlucky Mark's job is to rinse and clean the packages so they can be sent off for testing and used as evidence. In all, the men had swallowed 50 packages each with more than 1 kilo of cocaine. They've since pleaded guilty and will now have to swallow a long prison sentence. The busy shift continues at Gatwick's North Terminal. Border Force agents have been alerted to a suspicious stash of candles which one passenger has brought back from Jamaica.
We're going to make a little hole in them.
An X-ray has revealed a suspicious line in the candles, so Officer Jez suspects there may be something hidden inside.
Look, Stuart.
And straight away, the smell confirms his suspicion. It's the third drug haul of the day at Gatwick, this time herbal cannabis.
Well, you get it in all sorts of places. Do the rest later.
The passenger proclaims her innocence, but is arrested for importing a controlled substance.
We've got a total of 7 candles. The first one has shown that we've got a small amount of cannabis in it. And we're just going to make sure that the others have also got cannabis in it. And the second one would indicate also that it has got cannabis in it as well. So the top part, it's slightly darker than it is on the lower part, which obviously now we know it's got obviously about 200 grams of cannabis inside. The lady actually, when she was stopped, did mention that she'd bought some candles while she was away. And which is fair comment because people do actually buy different presents to bring back for people when they go abroad on holiday. And she actually did say she'd got some candles. I think the officer became suspicious when she realised that she'd got 7, which is, you know, it's quite a large amount of candles to have. So that now leaves us with 4 candles to examine. And I suspect the other 4 candles will probably contain herbal cannabis as well.
With 2 Class A seizures already this morning at Gatwick, Jazz was hoping to find something more incriminating than cannabis.
A little bit disappointing in reality for us professionally, so. But, nevertheless, a good concealment.
With over 1.5 kilos of cannabis found inside the candles, the passenger is now awaiting sentencing. At Manchester Airport, an international flight has just arrived with over 200 passengers on board. UK border officers are scanning and X-raying bags for any unusual signs.
This one's coming in from Montego Bay in Jamaica, so it's of interest to us from a drugs angle. You get cocaine and cannabis both produced and imported from the Caribbean, so basically any flights from the Caribbean are of interest for drugs.
As passengers disembark, Officer Liz is on the lookout for any suspected smugglers.
Hello, sir. You travelling on your own today?
Yes.
Can you just bring your bag this way for me, please? Where have you come in from?
Jamaica.
Yeah, can you just bring your bag this way, please? Do you have a passport and ticket? Are you aware it's illegal to import certain things into the UK, such as controlled drugs, indecent material, offensive weapons?
Yes.
Do you have anything like that with you?
No.
Do you have anything to smoke or drink?
No.
Right, OK, what's in your duty-free boxes there?
Rum.
OK, so that's the drink. So how much rum have you got?
I think it's 6 bottles.
6 bottles of rum. OK. Do you have a key for this, please?
He's way over his allowance for spirits, and Liz is suspicious about the man's denial. She decides to X-ray some of the goods in his baggage for any hidden drugs.
The gentleman's just got some fruit and some bottles. What I'm doing, I'm just X-raying it just to make sure that there's nothing concealed within the fruit or the bottles. Sometimes I've had little packages that are stuck behind the labels in the bottles. So I'm just checking there's nothing concealed there. They all look fine, so. He's got quite a lot of bottles of rum cream. I'm actually going to test one of the bottles just to make sure there's no cocaine in solution. What's just happened here is I've just been swabbing various things as I've been going through the baggage. I've just tested the swab and it's actually come up with a small trace of heroin. OK, now that's quite unexpected really, because the sort of drugs you'd be expecting to find from Jamaica would be cocaine and cannabis. So it's only a small trace, and I'm just going to see if I can replicate the hit to see where it's come from, and then I might ask him about it.
Having found the trace, Liz is now on the lookout for any behavioural indicators the man may be smuggling.
OK, had a good meal on the plane?
Yeah, the meal was terrible.
The meal was terrible? What was it?
What did I have? Some powdered eggs.
Some powdered eggs? Is that it? All right.
But it's not just the man's manners causing Liz concern.
Sounded like you just had a 3-course roast dinner. Yeah. One of the indications that someone might have an internal concealment of drugs is actually burping. And I don't know whether you caught that, but he just gave a very loud burp and he's not eating very much, so, you know, my suspicions are raised a little bit. He's also not got a lot of money. He's got £5 to get a taxi to somewhere, which he might get there for £5, but I'll just carry on, see what we get.
At Gatwick Airport, UK border officers are targeting a flight from the Canary Islands. They're on the lookout for passengers bringing in more than their allowance of cigarettes and alcohol. The officers shuffle their ID cards and pick at random to see who gets which job.
1. Yes!
Hazel wins, but her husband Paul draws the short straw.
I can't believe I'm lost again!
Having successfully chosen her ID card first, Officer Hazel will have the first choice of any jobs.
This one stinks. The slightly less glamorous part of our job. I think it's his shoes.
The bags have arrived from outside the EU, and passengers are strictly limited to 200 cigarettes. Hazel must find the cigarettes, even if this means confronting her pet hate of touching other people's pants.
There's 800 in here as well. Ooh.
She might not like it, but the owner of this bag has 800 cigarettes.
Hazel, just put some gloves on and look professional.
Oh,
That's someone's bag.
what's wrong with them? Oh, it was just people's knickers. That, just the most revolting part of our job.
When passengers exceed their allowances, the goods need to be seized.
Which one are you going to do, Hazel?
I don't mind.
You choose, you're number one.
I'll do the suitcase.
Right, OK, let's go.
With their jobs allocated, the officers head upstairs and wait for the passengers to claim their bags from the luggage carousel.
Is it the two of you travelling together?
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me, sir. Just bring your bags over to one of the benches for me, please.
Hello. Are the two of you travelling together?
Yes.
Where have you just arrived from?
Lanzarote.
OK, if I can just have a moment of your time. Right, so what have you got in here then?
That's what I got off the plane.
OK, so you've got 400 there, yeah?
Yeah.
And you've got 400 other cigarettes?
Yeah.
OK. So that's basically twice your allowance.
Right,
OK,
see,
so if you've got 800 cigarettes, you're allowed 400, so you've got
Yeah, I
twice the
said to the
allowance.
rep when we was there, I could take 400 out. And I said, what about on the plane? He went, yeah, if there's something on the plane, you can buy them on the plane.
Yeah,
So
but...
he's directed me wrong.
OK, so you've got 800 in total then. Is there any other things you want to tell me about before we carry on?
You tell the man? You got any cigarettes or booze anywhere?
I can't remember what I've got in this one.
You got to tell the man.
Whilst Paul's passengers appear to understand they've exceeded their allowances, Hazel's passengers are slightly less happy.
OK, because you're over your allowance for both alcohol and cigarettes, and because you knew your allowance, OK, I have to seize everything from you, OK? That's everything that you've got here. So that's 1,600 cigarettes and 5.5 litres of spirits, OK? I'll just get you some documentation. Just hold on for a second.
You're well in excess of your allowances on both alcohol and cigarettes. So these items are going to be seized from you today. OK, I'll issue you with some paperwork, but these are going to be taken and destroyed. OK?
They admitted to knowing that they were over their duty-free allowance for alcohol and for cigarettes. They looked a little bit peeved, but they knew they'd done wrong. He didn't say anything as such, but I think he was hoping he'd get away with it.
OK, thanks very much for your time.
Fair enough. I mean, admittedly, I went down the wrong channel and he sort of jumped on us, so we paid the price. It's an expensive lesson.
For the officers, it's been a job worth getting their hands dirty for.
It was a little unclean, but we didn't make too much of an issue of it.
I had first pick of the detections because I'd won the draw, so I decided that I'd take the cleaner option and give the bag with the dirty lingerie to Paul. I think he got a slightly bigger seizure out of it, but it was worth it not to have to rummage through that again.
In Manchester, Liz has found nothing in the suspect's bags. The last thing to check is the passenger's rum.
Can you pass me your duty-free boxes up, please? Cheers. OK, this isn't rum, is it? This isn't rum, is it? What is it?
Yeah.
OK, just wait there for 1 second.
Liz's intuition and patience has finally paid off as she finds a large package stuffed inside the duty-free rum cases.
OK. Obviously, what I was expecting to find in the duty-free boxes was rum. OK. This clearly isn't rum, so obviously I suspect it to be drugs. What I'm going to do now, cut into there. OK, and what we've got here is herbal cannabis by the look of it. I'm actually going to arrest the gentleman. I'm going to ask my colleague to test it, and I'm going to just take him into a private room and arrest him. Just want to take a seat there, please. OK, I suspect this to be cannabis. OK, so the time is 08:33. I'm arresting you on suspicion of being knowingly concerned in the illegal importation of a controlled drug.
As the man begins to realise the consequences of his actions, Liz gets the results back from the tests on the substance.
All that red colour there, that's confirmation that it's cannabis. Obviously, the indicators there that he's nervous and all the rest of it are still there. We now know why he's nervous, because he's got this, but I can't discount the possibility that he may be carrying drugs internally as well.
But the man is less than happy at the suggestion that he may have swallowed drugs.
I need to be sure that you don't have drugs on you, inside you. Are you okay with that?
No, because I have nothing in my stomach.
No, because you've got nothing in your stomach, right. If you refuse to have the compass, you will be monitored, and we'll have to wait for nature to take its course, and you'll have to have 2 clear motions.
With the man's reluctance to have an X-ray, Liz is adamant they'll find out whether he swallowed drugs one way or the other.
OK, we're going to take you upstairs now to our custody suite, OK? So if you'd like to follow us, you can push your trolley. OK, you all right?
The man's frustration is understandable. Liz has intercepted a huge amount of cannabis.
It was actually quite a shock when I saw the tape packages. I wasn't expecting it. I just thought he'd actually got too much rum.
The packages contain more than 8 kilos of cannabis, with a street value of more than £25,000. After an X-ray, it was revealed that the cannabis smuggler had not swallowed any packages. He's currently awaiting trial. In Manchester, a flight from Pakistan has just arrived at Terminal 2. Flight crews are also subject to regulations, and today UK border officer Liz is using a new thermal camera to search the pilot.
OK, that's fine. Could you just turn around and face the wall for me, please?
The pilot takes the new security measure in good spirits.
Do I get to see?
You can't, unfortunately. You can see me if you want.
He even wants to have a go himself.
Yeah. So I just...
It's all in monochrome, like not colored.
No.
It's not colored.
No. OK.
So it's a thermograph kind of.
Yeah, it's a thermal imager.
So I'm cool.
You're cool to go, yeah.
The officers find nothing untoward on the crew, so turn their attentions to the passengers. Kevin spots a bag bulging with rectangular packages and tracks it into the channels. Inside, he finds well over the allowance of 200 cigarettes and wants some answers.
Are you here on holiday or are you working?
Yes, I'm on holiday.
On holiday?
Yeah.
On your own? Just you? Just you?
One. Just you,
no
one.
family?
Conveniently, the passenger doesn't understand.
Who are the cigarettes for?
Cigarettes.
Cigarettes. Them things on there? Yeah. Who are they for?
He also doesn't seem to understand the law.
Sorry? They're for yourself?
Yes, I would.
All them are
not for myself, for sell.
To sell?
Yeah.
You're going to sell them? Yeah. Who to? Who will you sell them to?
It's a surprising admission and against the law. But the man's situation gets worse when Kevin discovers he works for the airline.
If he's a crew member, he's classed as a privileged person.
Yeah.
Now, if they're carrying excess amounts of cigarettes, over 1,000, well, they'll be arrested and we could prosecute them for it.
Right.
Now, this guy's got nearly 10,000 cigarettes. Comes to light now that the passenger is a member of staff. He works in Karachi, and as such, he's on a staff ticket. He's classed as a privileged person, which means he has to be arrested and prosecuted.
Kevin calls in the investigation team.
David, just let one of them know we've got a prisoner over at T2. Crew with cigarettes. Nearly 10,000. So just let them know we're going to have a prisoner in due course, but they're going to need a translator. We're about to do the arrest. We're just waiting for an Urdu speaking immigration officer to come down to facilitate that.
Kevin's keen eyes picked out the smuggler, and as he works for the airline, the man may be losing his job as well as his cigarettes. UK border officers in Dover face a 24-hour tide of trucks and cars. Smugglers use the sheer volume of traffic as a cover, and it's the job of the selectors to pick out vehicles to be searched.
There's a selector over the freight lane that has been selecting certain vehicles. And this vehicle here that we've intercepted today is in connection with a heroin job that they intercepted last week.
With information suggesting links to a previous heroin seizure, sniffer dog Millie and handler Nikki are brought in to speed up the search.
I've got a few of my colleagues having a look at the moment. There could be either a concealment space in there or even better, large quantity of money going outward bounds.
The driver isn't happy. Dealing with angry drivers is a daily hazard.
I don't have no rights. That's my home, my sleeper. I'm not letting dogs fur all over my bed. Simple.
When the dog's downstairs, you can go in and have a look around. If you want to make a complaint,
I have dogs. Dogs walk with shit. They lick their own balls. They have no shit.
The officers have the power, but they're trying to respect the man's wishes.
Well, if you're telling me you're going to put that dog on, I want her to say that you are allowed to. I am saying I do not want that dog to go on that dog.
Yeah, I mean, what we
It's my right, and I'm asking you not to put the dog in, and you're saying you are, by law you can't, so I want you to give me a black and white. Is that fair?
That's fair, I can go and get you the...
Listen, see dogs, I love dogs up. I have no bar with dogs. No problem with dogs.
Okay, well,
it's my pet.
Like, I know what you're saying exactly. All right, just calm down a little bit.
With the information linked to a previous heroin job, the driver's reluctance to let Millie into his truck is raising suspicions.
The driver's obviously not too happy about the dog going in the cab, so we're just getting the forms to say that we are actually allowed to go in there.
As soon as I get this letter, then we can get on with it, hopefully.
If Millie finds drugs, dog hair on his pillow will be the least of the driver's problems. Back in Manchester, the Urdu interpreter has arrived. This smuggler caught with 10,000 cigarettes also works for an airline and is about to be arrested.
We've had a translator explain to him exactly what's happened. He's upset now because he's worked for the airline for 33 years. He thinks he now may be about to lose his job. But he's not only brought in nearly 10,000 cigarettes, which he's admitted he's going to sell. It's an offence. You can't do that, unfortunately.
As he's led away to be searched, the man's nerves get the better of him.
Not got anything in there, he's in the ditch, is it? Yeah, just shut the door so he can go to the toilet. He wants to use the toilet, but because he's not been searched yet, he could have evidential stuff on him that he's trying to flush down the loop.
Cigarette smugglers aren't usually accompanied to the toilets. But during the search, officers do find something in his jacket, and the man's day goes from bad to worse.
A small package been found in the gentleman's pocket, and it looks like it could be drugs, possibly opium.
I think it's possibly cannabis resin. You get a particular type of resin in Pakistan. If it does turn out to be potentially drugs, yeah, it's cannabis. You see it's gone that red colour. So although he's been arrested for the cigarettes, he's now going to have to be arrested again for this.
Okay. Cannabis. Listen, it's now 12:06. I'm arresting you on suspicion of being knowingly involved in the importation of a controlled drug. You do not have to say anything. You may hold your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Do you understand?
Suddenly, the situation is crystal clear.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
With 2 crimes to answer for, the consequences could be serious, even for such small amounts.
3.5 grams.
Well, he's potentially going to lose his job if his airline is involved about the offences he's committed. For the importation of the cigarettes, if we do decide to prosecute, he could face a fine. And for the importation of the drug as well, you're looking at a compound penalty, so that again could be a fine. So he could be facing a couple of £100 fine and potentially lose his job as well, which I believe he's been in his job for 33 years. So it was a silly mistake to make this late in his career.
Back in Dover, the team are dealing with the driver who doesn't want the drug dog in his cab. But they've now found the rules that give them the power to search, with or without his permission.
26 and 27, that you can use a dog as a living tool.
Right, sir.
With the law on their side, the team can now get on with searching the truck.
What we'll do, we'll put the dog in now. Do you want to come and see us through stages? Okay.
The intelligence team selected this truck to be searched in relation to a recent heroin seizure. Sniffer dog Millie is looking for drugs or cash which may be connected to crime.
This guy's Irish. Recently we've had quite a few jobs from Irish vehicles coming into the country, largely being Class A.
Searching a massive truck like this can take hours, but sniffer dogs like Millie can do it in a matter of minutes.
Come on in. Millie.
With the cab search over, Millie checks the driver.
Okay, that's great, thank you. Good girl. No, I didn't get anything from that. Didn't go in the load because it's frozen meat, so just did the outside in the cab.
That's great, sir. Sorry about that. We've done with the dog now, so what I'll do...
If the driver didn't want Millie in his cab, he certainly doesn't want her in his trailer full of meat, and the officers decide to search it themselves. They find nothing, and the truck is free to go, for now.
Spoke to the selector. He's happy. He's got the paperwork, and he's going to evaluate it going out. Maybe stop it coming back in, but going out, perfectly happy with it. All right, sir. Thanks very much for your time. Sorry to be a problem. There's your stuff. Okay. This is the complaints, right? If you're not happy, I've said that you've been compliant, you've been no problems at all. I've just said you weren't happy with the dog going in, okay? Okay, thanks very much for your time.
Lorry searches do take time, and the officers are well versed in dealing with drivers upset at the delay.
We do come across that, but we are actually allowed to go in the vehicle, so she didn't mark anywhere, she had clean feet.
As an insulted Millie ambles off, the driver leaves happily in his dog hair-free cab. In Gatwick, it's not just passengers that might be smuggling drugs. In the freight area, UK border officer Lorna and sniffer dog Diesel are searching packages from Jamaica.
We're just over in the freight sheds and we're going to search some of the DHL courier mail.
Any of the thousands of packages a day passing through Gatwick could contain cocaine, so using the skills of the sniffer dogs is vital.
We come over here most days and there are quite a lot of detections found over here, so it's a good area for the dog to work. Diesel, look, it's just...
Lorna watches Diesel closely, waiting for any sign that he's detected drugs.
Trig, do you mind having a look in that for me, please?
Which one?
This one.
The sensitive nose of a drug dog can sometimes be alerted by a few tiny particles of cocaine innocently picked up by contamination. But today, Diesel seems unusually excited.
Hold on a minute. Sit.
The package has come from Venezuela, a known source of cocaine, which makes contamination seem the most likely cause of the dog indication.
It looks like we could have some personal effects. So it looks like a pair of trainers there, a couple of baseballs and a couple of items of clothing that actually look okay. They don't look to be anything suspicious about the clothing. I'll just obviously do a quick check of the shoes.
Disappointingly, the contents look innocent and have already been examined in Venezuela.
The Venezuelans, you can see, they tried to see if there's anything in them. It doesn't look like there has been. Have a look at a couple of baseballs.
Just as it looks like a false alarm, Duncan notices the stitching's been tampered with.
The actual stitching doesn't look too good on them. It looks pretty ordinary. It claims to be an official baseball, but if I try and undo the stitching a bit... Oh, you can see there on the end of the knife, actually, it looks like a white powder. That could possibly be cocaine in its powder form. Steve, have you got a test kit?
It's starting to look like Diesel's nose was right.
Okay, and then just try and dab a little bit of this solution on top. If you can see there, we've had a blue reaction on the actual filter paper, and that indicates presence of cocaine from the white powder.
Brilliant.
It looks like the dog's done pretty well.
Yay, well done, Diesel.
Lorna's delighted, and Diesel gets a well-earned reward.
Good boy. Yay, good lad, good it.
Yeah, very good work by the dogs. Nice indication that he's obviously they like playing with balls, so you're never quite sure whether he's actually indicating or not, just wants to play with the ball. But on this occasion, he's done very, very well.
Thanks to Diesel, another illegal shipment of cocaine will now be destroyed. Meanwhile, across in the South Terminal, a flight is just touching down from Kiev. This time it's prohibited meat products in suitcases that the UK border sniffer dogs are looking for.
The Kiev flight is normally pretty good, a lot of sort of sausages and cheese and things like that, and they just don't seem to understand that they're not allowed to bring it in. So sometimes it goes around the sort of local community quite quick, and sort of if you've hit a flight quite a bit, you'll see it sort of ease off a bit, but they still seem to be bringing it in. So
the EU has strict animal health rules, and it's the border officer's job to keep out any unregulated products.
Do you have food in here?
Apple.
Yeah. Anything else?
Fruit and wine are within EU regulations, but it's illicit meat that's off the menu.
Yeah. Good boy. Thank you.
Okay, madam, if you just come with me. Where have you travelled from today? Kiev, okay. Are you travelling on your own?
With a number of health scares in recent years, EU rules have been tightened, which catches out a lot of passengers.
Okay, you're not allowed to bring any meat products or any dairy products. Yeah, that's all right, you're not in any trouble, but you're not allowed to bring them in, so we have to take them from you. Okay, let's have a look in the bag.
Very good sausage.
Oh, I'm very sorry about that. Lots of people lose their sausages. She seems quite pleasant, she's not upset. She said it's good sausage. It's a shame she's lost it, but she's not upset. She hasn't moaned at me yet, so she'll just remember for next time. She's lost her money. She'll have to buy some English sausage now.
It's a small seizure, but importing products of an animal origin is a serious problem.
So that's 430 grams there. If you do bring meat in again, then you can get into trouble. Unlimited fine or imprisonment even. But I doubt that will happen with a bit of sausage. OK, thank you. We'll just put this one to one side and we'll go and get the next passenger.
And Jasper has now sniffed out a queue of passengers to be searched. In Manchester, an early morning flight from Paphos has just touched down. It's within the EU, so passengers are entitled to bring back as much tobacco as they like, as long as they aren't receiving any money.
I see you got some cigarettes there. Yeah. Who are they for?
Well, for me,
Yeah.
my brother-in-law's and smoked the tobacco.
All right. Are they just giving you the price that you paid for over there?
Az is surprised by the woman's honesty.
She's already explained to me that she's going to get the cost price for some of the goods, which, as an EU traveller, is not permitted because those who aren't travelling aren't entitled to that privilege.
Az gives her another chance to explain.
Can you identify what you're actually giving away to your friend, family?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Is it just the gold leaf yours? Are you giving any of the tobacco away to anybody?
No, we'll start over my own.
Have you ever rolled your own?
No.
So
But you can buy machines.
You can?
I will give presents away as them, if that's
Yeah.
okay.
Are you saying to me that once you finish your cigarettes, you're going to start rolling?
No, I'll give
All right.
them as presents. Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
them off.
No, I'm not going to take them off. I'm just trying to understand what you're saying to me.
The woman now says she'll give away the tobacco as presents, which is fine, but she's still making things difficult.
Is this all your luggage?
Yeah.
Did you pack everything yourself?
Yeah.
Do you understand what you can and can't bring into the country? Like,
Yeah.
you can't bring any controlled drugs like indecent, obscene
No,
material,
well, I'll tell you,
firearms.
I have... Hurry up, just open
Yeah?
them
Do you
all
understand you
up.
can't bring them into the country?
No, I've got 10 guns in there, 14
Okay,
sure
now.
Stop that shotguns.
I hope you haven't.
You can take them, I'm
Okay.
not really...
Right, well, I don't want to take them off you, okay?
Az tries again to help the woman keep her tobacco.
But what I need you to understand is that when you bring goods in for somebody else, I asked you a question. The question was, are you just getting the cost price for the goods?
Yeah.
And you said, yeah, right, which is nice, and it's
Yeah,
nice to be
interesting, yes, please.
straightforward about it.
I do,
However,
I know.
are you listening to what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they're not travelling with you, you can't receive any payment for the goods.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
well...
if
I'm
money
not-
is exchanged for these goods, that's not permitted.
I'm not selling them.
I know, but you're getting the cost price for the goods, aren't you?
No.
That's what you just said.
I didn't, I said they're for presents.
Right. I asked you a question. I know what you said. You need to remember you can only bring in tobacco for yourselves.
Yourself.
Giving them away as gifts is not a problem. However, if you're getting cost price that you paid over there, that's not permitted.
Well, if I would have brought a lot more than that, wouldn't
Well,
I?
I don't know that. Just remember you
Sorry,
can't
Vic.
receive any. You can't receive
I
any
know.
payment.
I don't want
Do you know?
No one's got any money to pay me.
Finally, the message appears to have sunk in.
Quickest way out, straight down there, to the right, and then left. I asked her if she was receiving any payment for the goods. And she says, yes, she'll be receiving the cost price. She was a bit nervous, perhaps, coming back after such a long flight. Gave her the benefit of the doubt, because after a while she did change the story. She seemed happy by my decision. Hopefully she'll remember not to bring in goods for other people who aren't travelling with her.
Back in Gatwick, the animal products team are also dealing with passengers who claim not to understand customs regulations.
Cheers.
Many travellers can't resist the temptation of foreign meat products, but if it's non-EU, it's not coming in.
What food have you got in your bags? Fish and breadfruit. Okay, anything else?
No, just fish.
Any patties?
No, they're in my bag.
What flavour are they? Beef, okay. Okay, you just have to go with the officer, okay? Put some beef patties on the back of her
Okay,
trolley,
madam,
yeah.
just come with me. And the doc's indicated saying you've got some meat products? Yeah. You've got some beef patties, okay. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to bring any meat products into the UK. No, unfortunately not. It's the same as from all countries outside of the EU. You're not allowed to bring any meat products.
It seems she made the same mistake before.
Do you know what? Is this new, the patty one?
No. Oh, they should. Oh, well, maybe they haven't looked for patties before, but if you've got the vegetarian ones...
Oh, my God, vegetarian is all right.
Yeah, because obviously there's no meat in a vegetarian patty, but anything containing meat's not allowed to be brought in.
Pete does his best to clarify the rules.
Well, you'll have to bring one fish. Does it say one fish?
No, you're allowed to bring in as many fish as you like now.
One fish, whatever weighs the highest.
Yes, so if your fish weighs more than 20 kilograms, you're not allowed to bring it in. That would be a big fish, so you'd have to have a real long suitcase to fit that in.
The woman is philosophical about her lost burgers.
You can't get them type of patties here. It's only English patties. They're not food taste the same. Never mind. Next time I know.
Okay.
No more patty. You can't have patty. Look, this is what it says. Beef patty, none. That's what I signed for. Sorry.
Okay.
The woman leaves, marking the end of a busy shift for the meat team.
Well, people were smuggling in cheese and patties, which they shouldn't have been, but we've taken them from them. It's a good job we got the dog, because you can't always find them products without the dog sniffing for them, so it's good.
It's a large haul and will be added to the 200,000 kilos of animal products sniffed out by the border officers each year.